from Columbia, South Carolina. This has been a phenomenal day of basketball here in the second round. Good. Kara Dunn was really good late, and then who else steps up offensively for the Trojans?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Kennedy Smith.
All-American, and here is Edwards, who had it roll off. Okot cleans it up. Rebounding is going to be a huge story to Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. A game that was branded as the battle for the real SC. It was a top 10 matchup at the time. Leah Samuels at the control. Second straight start for her with London Jones coming off the bench. Kennedy Smith, you mentioned she's got a screen across 5 seasons. Latson rises, too strong from deep, another offensive rebound, and 4 early for every way in their NCAA tournament debut Saturday against Clemson. Dealing with the pressure defense, turned it over.
Hey, how about this?
The assignment on Kara Dunn to begin. A double came from Davidson, but Edwards kept it alive. Swing it around, Raven Johnson. Can't hit, Tessa Johnson. Williams got behind Okot, but missed it. There's Raven Johnson, who's closing in on 1,000 points for her career, too. Edwards against Dunn, scores it, and a 6-0 start.
Multiple times down the floor, Joyce Edwards getting those touches on the interior, going to work against Kara Dunn, just gets it up off the backboard. There's an offensive rebound opportunity.
There she is going to work in the post again. Backing down Dunn and scoring again.
She goes to backing her down. Again, the double team is not coming, and she can just elevate.
Said they probably would change things around. Tanaya Latson off target, but another Okot offensive rebound. Johnson sticks the... Smith, baseline jumper, no.
Jazzy Davidson, none thus far.
USC 0-5 from... Sets up Edwards. Spinning on Dunn. Edwards got her own miss. And we'll go to the line. Second leading score at 15.5 per game, coming off 22-11 in the fourth quarter Saturday. You can see on Saturday against Southern. And building off what was a really good freshman year into stardom as a sophomore. Miriam Dowda goes.
Got to get side to side, get some ball reversals.
It's grab and go. The kick, McKeer swirls one out, and a good block out from Diana Mendez, who gave it away to McKeer.
Good transition defense from South Carolina. Not giving up anything easy.
Smith knocks down a long two. Backs it out for Tanaya Latson. Latson had it poked away. Good defense by Jazz.
Took over in overtime. Back-to-back threes. I mean, you see it in the numbers right there. First freshman with 35 and 5 in a debut in the last 25 years for USC.
Lindsay Gottlieb said afterward, she's running out of adjectives to describe Jazzy Davidson. London Jones a miss.
Gaps, and she also stressed no more offensive rebounds for South Carolina. I need to see more toughness on the glass, and she's hoping to get some momentum for their off.
It is the discipline and the toughness to making a commitment to putting contact on someone.
Kennedy Smith knocks down another jump shot. She hasn't shot it
great with those 2 early fouls.
Tessa Johnson pulls and knocks it down. Rolled off, and then it got McKeer saves it. 3 looks at it for the Gamecocks. And Joyce Edwards.
I mean, she makes it look so easy. Her shot is pure for sure. She's bringing a lot of energy to her teammates. Very positive voice on the floor.
Ken Mulkey famously asked earlier this year in the opening quarter. London Jones being dogged by McDaniel, stayed persistent to the basket. London Jones, the UCLA transfer, known for her work from outside the arc, set up Gerda Roshatite, the junior on NCAA.com. Joyce Edwards to the bench, Jazzy Davidson there as well for USC. One of the beloved teammates on this team, senior from Bentonville, Arkansas, her second year. Trying to build on this at the end of the first, and Kara Dunn in the game with her 2 fouls. Kennedy Smith draws a foul against Okot White. Samuels off the bounce, couldn't get it to go. High ball screen. Raven Johnson. Too strong. Okot cleans it up. Quarter. Tessa Johnson off the bounce. Strong take. Okot another offensive rebound, but cannot trigger to close out the first quarter.
They can't afford to be 80% offensive rebounds.
Jazzy Davidson is scoreless in this game for a Trojans team that only has 2 rebounds. Everyone's scouting report now.
Yeah, she sure is, and I think Lindsay Gottlieb is going to have to really manage.
Kennedy Smith really trying to apply some pressure on the ball too with Raven Johnson. Okot underneath. And how about the impact Medina has had so far? Senior at 6'6" out of Kenya, the Mississippi State. 8 points to go along with her 8 boards. And South Carolina also has made a living at the free throw line. Laura Williams on a nice feed from Kent. Raven Johnson. McKeer gets bumped by Jazzy Davis.
You see that time Laura Williams in a shallow gap, trying to take away a driving lane.
Johnson hits from the corner.
South Carolina for Raven Johnson. That's second in program history.
It's incredible. Kennedy Smith gets one to go out of the court. Kennedy Smith, nice scoop to the basket. See the 9 points for Kennedy Smith, more than half the USC production. Edwards spinning again, not done with 2 more. And Joyce Edwards. South Carolina's got an 18-4 rebounding edge. And a turnover here. 1 seeds each of the last 2 years. Of course, the back-to-back Elite Eights. No Juju Watkins all year, of course. Davidson finally on the board.
What USC gets with this high ball screen, really high above the 3-point line. So now Jazzy Davidson has.
Mike, in the last time out, USC's head coach Lindsay Gottlieb was challenging her team to play with more physicality under the basket to get some of those rebounds. Cannot give up, guys.
She said there's got to be grit against this big South Carolina team. Okot
requires more discipline, more consistency, more energy, more effort, more attention to detail.
Pick and pop, Kara Dunn off the mark, up by 15 on Southern Cal. Again, they sag off Okot. She's been shooting it all right from 3 recently. Coca-Cola, fan work is thirsty work.
Posts are not going to guard the Southern Cal posts. They're going to be packed in the paint. So it gives you an...
Joyce Edwards still working on Kara Dunn and draws up.
Bring some more size, bring some more length.
Well, I should say that they gave it to Kennedy Smith.
Oh.
So this helps out Kennedy Smith on the drive. Tough shot, no. Cleaned up by Roshatite. And Davidson connects from D. Davidson feeling it. Too strong. Raven Johnson takes Latson off the bounce, lost the handle. Edwards fouled by Davidson.
An outstanding shot blocker at the guard position. Just the verticality, staying vertical, staying disciplined to that. But that's a tough one when you're coming back in trans.
At the free throw strike, 14 of 16. McKeer the pickpocket on Samuels. Latson hauls it in and drops it in.
Able to get out in transition. The South Carolina team that averages almost 20 points a game in the open court. And she said Tania Latson is one of those. She has allowed us the ability to play faster.
Smith spins one out. Other Southern Cal turnover to Raven Johnson.
It's nice to have those Atlanta connections with Ann Evans.
McKeer on another run out. Takes it herself. 7-0 run for the Gamecocks. 2 NCAA tournament games so far. They've looked dominant in 3 halves. Tessa Johnson. ESPN these last 3 hours. UConn and now South Carolina look pretty good. Okot follows it up. And a gap. Held ball will give it back to the Trojans. Smith got stripped. McKeer. Edwards. No. And that done
with purpose.
11 steals. And yeah, you see that note at the bottom there. It's the third time.
Well, at the half, USC head coach Lindsey Gottlieb challenged her team's pride, saying, "We can lose, but not like this. We can't be punks and give up and continue."
Post entry, Joyce Edwards with Davidson on her this time. Same result for Joyce Edwards.
Well, Joyce Edwards frustrated with herself for missing that layup before heading into halftime. I mean, you talk about a young lady who is taking her game to another level. I mean, her numbers show.
Percolating some more for USC. Raven Johnson, a little two-player game with Joyce Edwards.
And South Carolina's ball pressure is forcing USC to put the ball on the floor, to dribble. It's not allowing them to just see passing lanes. And that's the kind of ball pressure you got to come with.
Shot clock at 6 for Kennedy Smith. Looking for somewhere to go. Just disjointed offensive possession.
Their own. When the team is at their best, the ball is moving. Yes, you got to find ways to get higher percentage shots for Jazzy Davidson, run actions, but you also have to be willing passers and willing to move.
That one forced a 4th foul on Kennedy Smith. So not even 3 minutes into the second half, and Kennedy Smith goes. Rhythm 3. Gets the roll. And might have been trying to skip that. Instead, Davidson the takeaway. Davidson attacks and finishes. Strong drive. 31 in her NCAA tournament debut Saturday. It was, and it goes back to USC. 3. And Dawn Staley just made kind of a passing comment to us today. She said, I'd even like her to shoot a few more.
There are rhythm threes and there are overthinking threes.
Davidson. Wow.
Nice.
Jazzy Davidson was calling for help. He was Chukwu trying to do so, and Edwards just going to work. Asia Wilson for the most 20-plus point games in a season during Dawn Staley's 18 years here.
Green, close to home. I mean, a lot of parallels between those two.
London Jones with the air ball. Carolina's concerned the 2 seed in their regional is out in Iowa.
And what an effort. Again, UVA. 3 wins.
Goes for Virginia. First round overtime against Georgia, and then you go double OT against Iowa. Edwards again with a chance. Former number 3 recruit in the country. At one point was the Gatorade National Player of the Year.
Her length.
Latson running. And here is the length of McKeer. And the freshman
Making her length. Talented enough to get on the court. And once she understands the consistency that you have to have every day.
3 to go, third quarter from Colonial Life Arena. Latson elbow.
Hooked by Jazzy Davidson.
Tornabese lays it in. McKeer saw it. Johnson on the receiving end. Timeout.
Has done such an outstanding job at UCLA.
Really has. Davidson misses out of the timeout. By the way,
Robertson.
it's going to be a great Sweet 16. McKeer missed it.
Has all the pieces. They have the mentality. They understand what it takes. I think to Dawn Staley's point about working on offensive execution is that got McKeer. Fouls Jazzy Davis shot to find the right play. And so Raven Johnson, the only returning starter, everybody in a new role, finding a comfort zone, young players that are making impact like that one right there. Top of a straight line drive.
Dawn Staley kept using the word.
There are going to be teams that you play and there are going to be matchups that you have where, yes, you can create your own shot one-on-one, but not against great teams.
Carolina along with Tanaya Latson. Joyce couldn't hit. And a foul on the loose ball rebound. Kennedy Smith had it ripped away by Tanaya Latson. Another strip and score for Latson. To teach me how to dunk.
Yeah, she was just shaking a little bit.
Coach Staley, if you're watching this game back on film in the future, don't listen to what we just said. Oklahoma, who got past Michigan State yesterday and who had an overtime win against South Carolina. trying to finish this one out strong. Raven Johnson in her final game here in Columbia missed it. Done the misfire. Jones retrieved it. Can't hit it. Been an up and down season for Southern Cal. Of course, without Juju Watkins all season with the torn ACL. Suffered last year in the NCAA tournament. Next year.
I mean, look, she's generational. Juju Watkins and what she has done in her early in her young career as Medina and helping her navigate the ups and downs has been, and I think she's going to come back hungrier than ever.
Man, what could have been this season. And Juju Watkins looked at her coach straight in the eye and said, "Coach, it wasn't our time." By Jazzy Davidson standing tall. And then Latz in the pickpocket, right back. 5 years with this program. Don Staley has said of all the players she has coached, she will.
She's been special. We said it. You know, all she's done is win. Her game has continued to improve. She's been a great floor manager and leader for this team and this program. Had those moments where you just get knocked on your butt, right? Like you get humbled. The game will humble you, and we've all been through that.
Raven Johnson appreciates the work done by the mop gang at midcourt. Agat McGeer sat down, maybe to tie a shoe, and then they needed a lot of effort on a day that has been stocked with good second-round games in the NCAA tournament. Another three for Jazzy Davidson, who shot
to be the one on the offensive end of the floor. She's going to continue to take huge strides forward.
If you were writing up an off
on the hands as well and utilizing them both, you know, I think she's outstanding at slashing to the rim. Teams are going to continue to push her right. She's going to work on that right hand. But she's going to be a tough matchup right now. And I absolutely love that she is already an elite two-way player. There's a lot of
Mendez to the line. Hey, for the 6th straight. Miriam Dowda.
Team, an experienced team, and a team that has stayed together. You know, retaining players is tough nowadays in NIL, and they've retained.
Columbia, South Carolina, 4.5 to go for Jazzy Davidson and the Trojans. The country in average attendance. The fans in Columbia. My first. Tornabees, Dowda, got it in a foul again.
The high-low, the teamwork, and the crowd exploding for her. And you mentioned it, just how beloved she is.
That's from 3. And Don Staley has said that compared to anyone on the roster, she'd probably hire Miriam Dowda faster than anyone. At the top of the game, that decided who got the 3rd 1 seed. So Texas won that game. And so Texas will get McDowell the intercept, and about how the roster projects for next year. Of course, another high-powered recruit. Jones deep 3, got it. 2 in a row for a loose ball. Three in a row for London.
The fire that you need. You know, sometimes you need a little dose of humility, right? And get back to the not.
She arrived here. This program had been past the 2nd round of the tournament only 3 times. That's a foul called on South Carolina in Columbia. That was awesome. Iwuchukwu, the finish from Mendez. Alicia Tornabees lost the handle. The Gamecocks were great again, and they advance.